Hello, we're here with John and Abigail Adams, who are going to be reading from their letters on May 10th at the Beverly Historical Society. They're going to read a little bit from examples from their letters, and we're going to start out with Abigail.
I long to hear that you have declared an independency. And by the way, in the new code of laws it will be necessary for you to make, I desire you would remember the ladies and be more generous and favorable to them than your ancestors. Do not put such unlimited power into the hands of the husbands. Remember, all men would be tyrants if they could. If particular care and attention is not paid to the ladies, we are determined to foment a rebellion, and will not hold ourselves bound by any laws in which we have no voice or representation. Men of sense in all ages abhor those customs which treat us only as the vassals of your sex. Regard us, then, as beings placed by Providence under your protection, and in imitation of the Supreme Being, make use of that power only for our happiness. Adieu. I do not need to say how much I am your ever faithful friend.
As to declarations of independency, be patient. As to your extraordinary code of laws, I cannot but laugh. We have been told that our struggle has loosened the bands of government everywhere, that children and apprentices were disobedient, that schools and colleges were grown turbulent, that Indians slighted their guardians and Negroes grew insolent of their masters. But your letter was the first intimation that another tribe, more numerous and powerful than all the rest, was grown discontented. This is rather too coarse a compliment, but you are so saucy I won't blot it out. Our masculine systems are little more than theory. In practice, you know we are the subjects. We have only the names of masters, and rather than give this up, which would completely subject us to the despotism of the petticoat, I hope General Washington and all our brave heroes would fight.
So, when you receive a letter like that from your husband, what are you thinking when that happens?
Well, I think to myself that Mr. Adams did not take me seriously. And I shall tell him that absolute power over women, like anything that is very hard, is most likely to break.
You would quote Defoe to me, madam?
Sir, you quote Defoe to me.
You both take counsel with one another. Mr. Adams, you listen to Abigail quite in depth. What is your position when you disagree on something like this that's such an important matter?
When we disagree is more important to me than when we agree. She is my first and best guide, and if her opinion differs to mine, it makes me think that she should be listened to and provide me with wise counsel. So I do listen to her more when she does disagree with me.
Do these disagreements, do they strain your ties of affection and love for one another?
Never. Never. We are most dedicated to each other.
How do you prevent such political differences that as deep and heartfelt as they are from poisoning your relationship?
We do not try to prevent them. We try to discuss everything openly, and we speak on all subjects. Government, politics, religion. She is a most wise guide, and she listens to me as well.
And for the most part, our thoughts run in the same channel.
Quite so.
And always have.
Now, you're away an awful lot in Philadelphia with the Continental Congress. You may have trips coming up to France. How do you deal with being away and parted from one another for such extensive periods?
We write to each other with great frequency, and when we do write to each other, it is as if we are together. It is as if we are speaking to one another. We read each other's letters many times over, and it is a most important communication. Mrs. Adams especially provides me with news from home, which I cannot get from any other method. Our letters take a great deal of time traveling back and forth, and some are lost, and in one case some were captured. But when we receive letters from each other, it is as if as if we are speaking to each other.
Although in some cases the letters I receive from Mr. Adams are not quite as well covered with writing as I should wish.
My time is not my own, madam.
I know, sir, nor it is mine.
Now, Mrs. Adams, you are charged with both the responsibilities of a woman in society and for the responsibilities of traditionally what would be a man's responsibility with Mr. Adams away so much. You run the farm, you raise the children. How do you deal with those kinds of responsibilities?
Sir, I bear all with Christian forbearance. It is my lot. I am Mr. Adams' helpmeet as God designed it, God and nature, and anything I can do to relieve the burden on his shoulders I will happily undertake. And it is my role to rear the children and educate the children with Mr. Adams' help and guidance. And the farm sustains us all and sustains our harmonious family circle. So it is my pleasure to serve, and this is how I serve the country as well.
Do you see yourselves as equals in your marriage?
As equal as God has made us, sir. God has ordained that there should be male and female, and of course this is what we believe. But as equal as we are more equal in our relationship than we see in those of some of our acquaintances, most certainly. But then Mrs. Adams has an ability far beyond that of most other women.
And Mr. Adams, I must say, along with providing a shield of protection behind which I can flourish, he is a great admirer of my talents, and he encourages me in my continuing education through our correspondence and through my own reading and correspondence with others. I would say we are equals in many areas, and we would not have it otherwise. I would not have married a man who did not value my talents and my contributions.
The education of women in this country must be increased if our society is to flourish, because women are the first teachers of the children. This is a most important task, and in order to accomplish this, more women must need education, especially literature and history.
And here I am at home with our Johnny and Nabby, who are learning Latin now, and as a girl I was not taught Latin, and Mr. Adams would like me to teach them French. And of course I can read French, but have never learned to pronounce it. So there are many strange conversations in French in the Adams household.
The single limiting factor of most New Englanders is that they are far too provincial, that they have not mixed with the world. If New England is to lead this country in the future, they must have greater learning.
And Mr. Adams looks to me to fix our children's attention on great and glorious things and weed out any meanness. They are to have a role on the stage of life.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Sir.
A pleasure.